crazy.
Before I go any further, sorry guys, I probably should have done this to start with, but I'm going to go through the panel. Damien, can you give us your background, your ethnicity, and your general background that you reckon is relevant to this sort of discussion?
Yeah, sure. So my ethnicity is kind of interesting. It's Irish Lebanese. So my mum and dad, well, actually all my grandparents were born in Australia except my Lebanese maternal grandmother who was born in the US. So nobody was born in their native country.
Yeah.
But my Lebanese side, it's a Catholic Christian Lebanese like you, and I understand that we're from Batroun, somewhere. I've never been to Lebanon, unfortunately. I've been wanting to get there, but I've been remiss of me not to get there.
All right.
My mum's side was Irish, and both my parents are from Brisbane. I grew up in Brisbane. My parents did not travel much, so we were very much, I grew up in the Greek-Italian sort of ethnic, if I can say it, WOG area of Brizzy, the inner city West End, which in the 70s sort of became a bit more of a Vietnamese area. The Greeks moved out to the suburbs a bit more, and I went to school there, grew up there, went into broadcast journalism out of school. Worked at 4BC, then moved to Melbourne when I was 19, worked at 3AW, went back to Brizzy, worked at the ABC, worst year of my life. Then I was news director at Triple M Brisbane, FM 104 back in the day. And I went back to 4BC and hosted the Drive show and read the news for a few years there in the newsroom there. And then I left radio, decided that it was time to try TV, started working for Channel 10 in Brizzy in 97 and moved down here, down to Sydney rather, and did 2 years at Channel 10 Sydney. And then I left media and went into public relations, spent 20 years in PR, went to Hong Kong, and just came back to Australia 2020 with COVID, and can't believe the cultural change. Cannot believe it.
It's amazing.
Completely different.
You've never been asked that on camera, have you? Your history, have you?
I sat down and had many chats with Matt Wong at Discernible in 2021 when Discernible were producing The Other Side, my video podcast. So I did a few Discernible interviews with Matt where we talked about my history.
Right, I must have missed it. Paul, yourself?
Yeah. Well, as it applies to this topic, I mean, this just drives me nuts in so many different ways. I've been to 50 countries. The idea that things are that culture doesn't make a difference, that Australia doesn't have a extremely positive culture in the place of the world. I'm a child of immigrants. I'm an immigrant myself. My cultural and historical background includes colonizer and colonized. And so I pay reparations to myself on a weekly basis. This is it's just such an unhelpful beat up when it comes to this self-flagellation. About one of the most successful, wonderful countries in the world. And, having been to 50 countries, I came here for a reason. And it was a conscious choice pick out of having seen the way many peoples around the world interact with themselves. And there are positive and negative aspects to many cultures. But to say it doesn't make a difference, to how, I like people to be or how well an economy succeeds, it makes an enormous difference. And we have one of the most wonderful places in the world to live, and the idea that we don't value it and its culture is abhorrent to me.
Yeah, but you've got a bit of, I think you forgot to tell them you've got a bit of Native American in you.
Yeah. So my father comes from Ecuador, and so I've got some Native American in me, and my mom is Swedish, so I got a bit of Viking, so colonizer and colonized, and so it's a little complicated, in terms of but honestly, I don't think about it because I think we all have a way we like the world to be. Yeah. The way we like to treat people, the way we like to interact, and the idea of the cultural values that allow people to work together is a melting pot in some places, and it's civil war and sectarian violence in others. And I prefer the non-sectarian violence way of going about things.
Yeah, Chris, tell me.
Suck the culture, bigot, and sit at the back of the bus. Shut up about that you feel that you're being offended by whatever it is. We're in charge now. the private school Meridian girl, elected MP who fled the civil war in the United Arab Republic. Now, with her PhD in counterterrorism, tells you that your feelings don't matter because I saw racism today, she says. This inner city resident, particularly wealthy with the rest of her family, engineer, she has.
Do you mean the
Anna Lee.
Anna Lee is it?
She's an MP.
She's an MP. She's in
a
she's in cabinet, right?
Teal?
No, she's Labour.
Labour.
She's Labour.
Labour.
Yeah.
Labour.
Yeah, right.
I don't think there's all the Teals are white.
Yes.
All the Teals are female. All the
Teals are female.
cockles.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Gucci
That was a
green.
prerequisite.
Back to Anna Lee's sneer at the woman saying, "Hey, I feel this. What do you think?"
Yeah.
The response was, "Well, I feel racism, so shut up."
Yeah.
I feel. What about me?
That's right.
This woman says,
walk
"I
around
have
in my
opium."
shoes, even though I'm as white as the driven snow myself. You know, she's whiter than I am.
And that's where we come to it, Damien, because it doesn't matter about what your ethnicity might be. It's about how we look at you. We may sit here and say, "Oh, we don't see race," because this is actually quite a multiple. Every panel with Journalists, look at all of us, right?
Yeah,
My mum was so brown
Yeah.
that she got discriminated against school. She was kept out of the sun because she was so brown.
What was her background, sorry?
God.
Portuguese.
Portuguese. And what was your dad's side?
My father's Belgian, Flemish.
Okay. There you go.
Diverse.
So we literally
but
don't
my-
have a white guy. I brought you on here to be a token white guy, and we don't have a token white guy.
Damn, we lost it. I could be
Damien's
half a
let me
token
down.
white guy.
Freaking Paul's
Half
let
a
me
token.
down. And
Whiteness. It's
Yeah.
about whiteness, multicultural whiteness. It's not about the color of your skin anymore. It's about how you see the world. And we're all here quite white.
And we will get into her comments again, Chris. But oh my God, like she was making the point. I don't bash the white guy, and I'm like we were sitting with a panel of coloured dudes, and we're like, what the hell? Just leave the white dude alone. He's gotten enough crap already. And then she hits us with the soy, Australian values isn't your soy sauce on your sausage roll. Who put soy sauce on a sausage roll?
Patronising, condescending, talking down. I mean, that's all the characteristics of that mentality, right? Where it's just pathetic, and I'm tired of it. I really am.
Moe, can
Yep.
you tell me your background?
So I'm Australian Lebanese, brought up in Western Sydney at Bankstown. I went to a Islamic school from as young as I can remember, kindergarten, right? Growing up, we were never told, to play victim, you're Lebanese, you're not white. This is something that's come recently that I found. For as long as I remember, we used to recite the Australian anthem. We're proud to be Australian. This is what I remember being in an Islamic school from kindergarten onwards. It was a good atmosphere. We're always told to be proud to be Australian. In my, professional career, running a business, you sort of get thick skin and you understand how the world operates. It sort of teaches a person, right? I've realized that you can't always play victim. And the ones that play victim, using their identity, whatever, are people not cultured to, govern us or run us or even speak for us. So I've done a bit of traveling myself. I've traveled to the United States. I've worked in America. And when I travel, people ask, I can tell you're Australian, got that accent. And they're actually astounded by, our culture. And, Aussie. I tell everyone that I'm an Australian. I don't tell them I'm Lebanese or Muslim. First and foremostly, I'm an Australian man. And, they're pretty fascinated about our country. I've met, people in the US military and I get along with them just based on conservative traditional values,
Yeah, and that's really what I want to lean into here. What we're seeing going on in the UK, Europe,